Okay guys, so we've got it on quite good so far. We've managed to apply the texture we want to the lapels. We've adjusted them all to about the same levels to give us the effect we want. A couple of decisions now, as we said last time, is that we may want to change the colour of the suit, or we may not want to. It's entirely up to yourself. You will notice I've left the top two white. I've done that thoroughly on purpose, purely to give them a slightly different look from these, slightly different angle of light, to try and give it a different view. I'm hoping it's going to work out at the end. It is purely experimental on my behalf. We'll wait and see how that goes. Now the process of doing changing the colours is much the same as what we've just done. What we're going to do is sections of colour in each pattern again, cut them out, place them on top, kind of like a collage if you like. We're going to be constantly building up layers, and then at the end we're going to apply a shader to it all, to change the shading effects of the colour to make it match in with the original image, so we retain that original light and orientation to make sure it doesn't begin to look a bit odd and out of shape. So okay, what we're going to first do is we're going to come in right by this left lapel. Now we want to be below it, so we're going to select the lower layer below, right click, new raster layer. It's going to come up with our menu. Unfortunately it's on the other screen, but here we go. It's just the so I'm going to call it left col, right? It just basically means left lapel color. What is it? Okay, and now again I'm going to grab a paintbrush. In fact, let's grab an art brush for this. Give it a second to load the menu. Not a tool I use a great deal, but it's a great tool. So I do actually want to pick up a colour, and I'm thinking about picking up this pinky colour in his tie here. So to do that, what we're going to have to do is select the base. Double click here to say I want to select the colour, and it's going to bring up this menu. Now with this menu selected, we can go in here and you can see now it'll start to change the colour. We're going to play around until we get the exact pink we want. So I don't want it too close to his face, I don't want it contrasting to the other one, so we're going to go about there. I want to say OK. So now it's given us this pink here, which is good. So we're then going to go back to our left lapel colour here, because we don't want to ruin the original layer. And then we want to up the size of the brush because it's very small. Here we go. So for you and me now both to see at the same time, let's see if this works. Okay, so don't forget, don't worry about the shadows, we're going to reapply those later. We're just looking to cover the area. It doesn't have to be entirely neat, we're going to neaten it off later. Okay, so we've got that there. We can do all four actually, so we'll change that to just lapel colour, I think. Let's see if we get away with doing all four. Usually I don't like doing it this way because it can lead to alterations. If you want to adjust one colour over another one easily, you can't do it. So it's always better to do everything on separate layers. But for pure laziness and speed for the sake of the video, I'm just going to do it this way. So we've got that one there, we've got this one here, and then we've got this one here. I say don't worry too much about going over stuff. You can always one or two ways. Grab your black out, make sure it's just in the areas you want. Make sure you get right to the edge of everything. You'd rather go over than be under. You can always come back with a cut tool later, like an eraser or anything like that, and just pull it back a bit. So make sure you go a little bit over the edges. Easiest way to perform that cut in action is to set this at a lower opacity. Go ahead and grab your erase tool. Okay, and then cut it exactly to the line you want it, just like that. And then again, make sure you clean off all your whites, alternate colours, just like that. Okay, you see the way this doesn't meet here, so it gives you this dark fake line. We don't really want that. Let's get rid of that there. Get rid of that there. That's a bit strange, isn't it? Okay, I was having a silly moment there. Apologise. Okay, so we've got about the colour we want. I can again adjust the strength of that. The temptation here for me is to go colour legacy and allow that to be applied to the image below. As you can see there, it's going to make the inner image take on the lower image take on the colour of the image colour we've just applied on top, essentially. We will go ahead and, as I said before, and add a new layer in over the top, just to pick out that edge of that material. We can see it goes over a little bit here. You come back in and just make sure you get rid of that, retain as much of that sharpness as possible. Get rid of that, a bit more there. Excellent. Okay, so as you can see now, it's starting to blend in, it's giving it a new lease of colour. You can set it to raw colour, I think, but it just doesn't have the same effect. Colour legacy, I think, will retain the shadows behind it also. But you can see now it gives that inside that new lease of vibrance, just applying that colour over the top of it. Check our time, plenty. So you can now do exactly the same thing for the outer layer of the suit. So we know we've got the lapel in this section, but we also know that the suit is lower than the lapel. The lapel is on the top, so we want to cut anything underneath that layer. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go here, call it a new layer again, and I'm going to call this one suit color suit. C-O-L-O-U-R. Okay. I know I'm terrible at spelling. You're probably going to all scream at me and point your mouth, but never mind. So on the suit colour, I'm going to pick another colour to contrast against this. I'm going to pick this this deeper purple this time. So remember how we do it. We click here. We're going to bring up the screen, and we're going to tell it, hey, I want this deeper purple here. Just grab it. So they're quite close together. So let's see if we can get an even deeper purple. There we go. Okay, so now we've got a quite deep purple to do the outside of the suit with. Again, you're on a separate layer, so you can't damage the layers before. Let's go back to our paintbrush. Give it a second. Here we go. So again, just paint right over the top. Make sure you go over your lines, so it's all covered. Over the excess lines there, against there. It's kind of the rules of colouring in when you were younger, but totally reverse. You would try not to go over the lines, but here you want to go over the lines to make sure you get absolutely everywhere, because you can just easily later on come back and remove the excess. So here we go. We've coloured in the outer lines of the actual suit. You may want to get that little bit in this as well. Grab your eraser tool, lower your opacity. A second, here we go, lower the opacity. Okay, and then again eraser tool and just go ahead and get rid of the overlays. Okay, get rid of it there, get rid of it there, okay, get rid of it there. There. shoulder in. I'm terrible, I should wear my glasses, but never mind. Okay, so we get that there, make sure we pull in the collar, and then again, make sure that his hair is cut from that bit there, cut off the excess, get rid of that shine, bit of glue, get rid of that, we've got a lot of excess on this side. Oop, went a bit too far there, not to worry too much. Okay, so we've got that, now switch it to a colour legacy. Now, I know it doesn't seem like it's done much, but if I just up it a bit more, take it away, bring it back, you can see it's added a new layer of vibrant purple to it. Brings it right back up and maintains the original layer. Gives it that pungent effect, almost recolouring the image in any sort of sense, but giving it a new lace of vibrance with the pattern on the inside of the suit. Now we just rinse and repeat now for all the different colours we want to actually physically change. If you want to add the effect to the bow tie, you're gonna do the same sort of thing. So I'm going to come back in the next episode, and I'm going to have the bow tie done, and I'm going to have the hat covered as well. And then what we're going to do right at the end is I'm going to show you then how to start to pick out some of the details in the face and repair some of that, bring the colours up and apply some different effects now, so make it look like a painting or make it look different ways. But you've basically got the idea here. What you're going to do is you're going to pick a layer, pick a section, paint over it, cover it, adjust it to what you want, and then apply it. So even though I've just applied that suit colour there, I could go ahead and apply it. There is a way within the software itself to actually apply textures directly using your colour. I prefer not to do it this way, however, purely because I can play around with the direction by using the deform tool of the textures. But have fun playing around with it if you're following along. As I say, fill in the hat and the suit with the texture if you want it. If not, just the hat or the bow tie. If you're happy with the suit the way it is and you're ready to move on to the face, then come join me on the next one. Alright, see you then.